and keep manifesting the powers, and you will see how it'll lead you to further and further breakthroughs. Now, we're going to be entering into a very beautiful session where Swamiji reveals to all of us how you need to drop your anxiety pattern to manifest what you want as reality in life. Swamiji is going to be revealing to all of us about how to break free from your anxiety and how to manifest real powerfulness beyond Maya. So let us all enter into the session now. Let's all listen to Swamiji's revelation on the exact technique that you can apply to break free from anxiety.
Means fear, you will be caught in fear in future at some point, and anxiety about your ignorance. Listen, I'm using different words. Fear of anxiety, anxiety of your ignorance. Fear of anxiety means feeling at some day I will be caught in the fear. I don't know how I will handle myself. I may go mad. I will lose my mind, as if you have one now. And anxiety of ignorance. Oh, I am so ignorant. I don't know what I will do in my life. I don't know what I will be able to do. The anxiety about your ignorance, both will collapse the moment you accept your introduction, which is done to you by Upanishads. Tremendous strength in your perception, strength in your cognition, strength in your thinking. Listen, strength in your perception, strength in your cognition, strength in your thinking. Listen, I tell you, royal secret. Whenever you expect result, the kind of the anxiety, anxiousness, frustration, your mind is more faster than the light and sound. It can visualize, imagine the goal of your life now itself before even you begin, and already feel frustrated, feel empty with your goal, one side. The other side, feel tired and bored and terrorized about the effort you need to put to achieve that goal. It can create extremely dangerous, multi-dimensional complexities, complications, and life negative patterns. No, they don't exist.
They don't, okay.
Whatever does not exist, Sadashiva doesn't speak about it. It's your invention.
Okay.
The amount of fear you experience is only the amount of toxins. It has nothing to do with reality or facts. How much of possibility is there snake biting you? Almost 0.000000000%. But how many people see snake in dream, waking state, all kind of states? Even when they are scrolling the Facebook, if there is a snake photo on the Facebook, people will not touch that. They will scroll in the side. They will not touch that photo of snake in the Facebook screen, in touch screen also. They will not touch the photo of the Facebook. Photo of the snake in the touch screen. How many of you are like that? Even if it is a snake's photo in the touch screen, you will not touch that photo in the touch screen. What is fear? Emotional shit. What is fear? Emotional shit. So, I tell you, reduce the fear to physical component. Don't give the fear the psychological power. Then you can never break fear. Fear is nothing but toxic shit sitting in your lower intestine. Understand? Listen to the lower intestine. Fear is nothing but the toxic shit sitting in your lower intestine. All you need is just marana smarana and detoxification. That's it. Just have marana smarana and detox. Please understand the way your patterns respond to the facts is perception. Let me make it more clear. Understand this story. An old man goes to a nearby village, is coming back to his home. From the distance he sees his house is on fire. That's all. He himself is literally boiling and burning, rolling on the ground, crying. One of his sons came to him and said, "Why are you crying, Dad?" This fellow says, "Oh, my house is on fire, my house is on fire." The son reminds him, "Don't you remember? Just yesterday we sold the house." Immediately got up and he became completely alright. He's okay now. All his suffering, pain, everything disappeared. Everything will become all right. Everything became all right for him. But in few minutes, the second son comes and tells him, "Dad, we sold, that is true, but still money has not yet come to us. We have not received the money." Then again this fellow rolls on the ground and starts crying, "Oh, my house is on fire, my house is on my fire, my house is on fire." Listen. The same house burning, for few minutes, for the same person it was suffering, next few minutes it was not a suffering, then again it was suffering. So basically, perception, how his patterns cognized the happening. I can give you one more example. Rajyasarbanyaya means in the middle of the night, you are walking in a forest, there was a rope in front of you. In that night, naturally what will you feel? The rope is snake. And especially in the night, you will always feel that rope is moving slowly. Your eyes will create the perception the rope is moving. So the moment you feel the rope is moving, your whole spine will move. You will have that electric shock of fear spreading on your spine. The whole body will shiver, being will shake. Listen. If you perceive the fact that rope is there, as snake, the way you respond is going to be different. And after a few minutes, listen, after a few minutes, when that rope is not moving, when you look, if the rope is not moving, suddenly you will realize, hey, it's not rope. Sorry, it's not snake. It is just a rope or something else. The moment you realize, the whole fear settles down. You are free. Perception can literally put you into the cardiac arrest before even the snake bites. You might be dead just by the perception there is a snake. If you perceive the fact, there is no suffering. Love exposes your blind spots to you. When the real tsunami of love happens in you, your whole gets integrated. When the tsunami of fear happens to you, your whole gets integrated. That is why when there is a survival threat, you express so much of energy, whether to fight or flight, for both. The speed with which you fight or the speed with which you run away, both will be extraordinary when there is a survival mode, because it integrates you completely. Same way when you are in love, it integrates you completely. Both the emotions, fear and greed, integrates you. If you use your love to integrate you and make your declaration reality, you are a bhakta, devotee, path of devotion you are traveling. If you use your fear, integrate you and make your declarations into reality, you are using the path of renunciation. I tell you, always use your love to integrate you. That will be most sweet, safest path. Declarations are sweet, declarations are tasty, declarations are powerful when love becomes base material. My disciple cannot have anxiety attacks. My disciple cannot feel stuck. My disciple can only do power manifestation and constantly falling in love with Paramashiva again and again with life, with Guru. It's all one and the same. What do you feel about your life? You will feel the same with Paramashiva. You will feel the same with me. That is why when you have a problem with your boss, I have to, oh God, I have to attend to this first. I don't know what will this girl think now. I have to take care of her. If she gets into incompletion. Understand? What you feel with life is what you will feel with Paramashiva, and that same thing you will feel with me. Whether your business or career or profession or anything in life. Life is nothing but breathing space of Paramashiva. That's it. Especially once you are initiated and you are integrated to initiation, you live in breathing space of Paramashiva. You live in breathing space of Paramashiva. I tell you. Nothing can shake your being. Nothing can move your being. If you decide power manifestation as a lifestyle, understand one thing, just one exhale from Paramashiva, he produces millions of Sarabeshwaras, and one exhale from Sarabeshwara, he produces millions of Kalabhairavas, and one exhale from Kalabhairava, all your enemies will be destroyed and all the problems in your life will be destroyed. All negativity will be destroyed. Understand? Listen, one exhale from Paramashiva, thousands of Sarabeshwaras. One exhaling from Sarabeshwara, thousands of Kalabhairavas. One exhaling from Kalabhairava, one from Kalabhairava, that's it. All the negativity in your life is destroyed. Understand, my disciples cannot have anxiety attack. My disciples will not have anxiety attack. I am there with you. I tell you a very simple thing. If you feel like you are having anxiety attack, just stop eating that day. Don't eat. I'll take care. Then you will understand this whole anxiety attack is only simple chemical. It is not factual reality. Understand? Listen carefully. My disciple cannot have anxiety attack. He can only have Kundalini awakening. He can only have experience of love, experience of Kundalini. Understand? Snake I am wearing today is Kundalini only. Kundalini is in the form of this snake, Rudraksha snake, Rudrakshanaha, Rudrakshanaha Raja. Listen. Power manifestation is too simple and really too powerful and too useful for your day-to-day life. It's a most useful spiritual practice. It is intense prayer, intense Advaitic oneness, intense yogic samyama, and intense Shaktipada and Shaktinipada. All put together I have given as one method, power manifestation. Just three things. Listen, Paramashiva is inside you, cognize it. And he is endless resource. And he is waiting to manifest for you. And you just need to connect with him, declare your integrity to him, and make Satya Sankalpa. That's it. Again, the whole thing is just incompletion. Pick up your root incidents when the incompletion started building in you and complete. We will now work on navel center, the Manipur Chakra. See, this chakra is related to confusion, constant worrying, irritation, anger. All these thought currents are centered in this chakra. If you clean all these thought currents, this chakra will be awakened. If this chakra is awakened by the initiation, this thought current patterns will be broken. Worrying, irritation, restlessness, confusion, being agitated. That is why when you get some worrying, disturbing news, you say, I can't stomach it. I can't digest it. Not in one language, in all languages all over the world, that I can't digest it, that expression is there. Because you are thinking, worrying, and stomach digestion, everything is very closely related. If you get any shocking news, disturbing news, the first part of your body which will be upset is stomach, you can see. That only first gets affected. It is very unfortunate. Worrying becomes pattern in human beings now. In India, the heart attack before 21 has become 14%. Please understand, 14% of Indians die before the age of 21 due to heart attack. It's a report just 3 days before released. 10 years before, in 2002, it was 1%. 1% of Indians below the age of 21 die in heart attack. Now it is 14%. So you understand that the main reason the researchers are saying is the lifestyle change. Worrying, stress becomes a lifestyle. Below the age of 21, people who have heart attack in India. Shocking. Really shocking. The stress is becoming pattern. See, I am working with millions of people. I tell you, from my experience, something more than your work stress, like a deadline, target, relationship, all that, you are habituated for worrying. You feel if you are not worrying, you are not performing. Continuously I work on people to separate worrying and performing. Worrying does not increase or support your performance. But I have seen these guys, just to try to pose as if they are performing, they will be constantly screaming at everybody and show that they are worried. Even if you act in front of others as if you are worried, like your boss, all bosses are always worried. Nobody knows why. And they constantly act as if they are worried. But after certain time, they forget they only started as acting. They start believing and they start living. And the delusion and illusion they created for others swallows them also over. Paramashiva's message directly from Kailasa today. Listen intensely. Having broad space keeps you absolutely integrated. Continuously manifesting life. Manifesting life is manifesting powers. Powers are nothing but life into the power of 3. Life into the power of 2, like a life square, is bliss. Life cube, life into the power of 3 is powers. Having broad, expansive inner space. Listen, life is all about what you cognize as you, not what you do outside. That's one statement. Second statement I immediately made. Life has nothing to do with what you feel about you or with you. It is all about what you do to others. Both looks very conflicting, paradoxical, controversy. Listen, but they are not conflicting. They are complementing each other. All I am trying to tell you is what you feel about you does not matter. What you cognize about you matters. When you have the right cognitions, you will start serving others. Serving others becomes your lifestyle. Listen carefully, intensely. What you are going to powerfully cognize about you decisively, that matters. For example, you decide, I am now going to feel I am only powerful God, Paramashiva, who has absolute power over my inner space and power over my outer reality. Listen carefully. That decision you may be taking only for 1 minute. And the all remaining 23 hours and 59 minutes you may be in depression, self-doubt, self-hatred, self-denial, all kinds of hitting with worst space a person can have and feeling shitty about yourself, your life and everything. All that feeling you are having 23 hours, 59 minutes does not matter. The 1 minute which you decided, you are going to powerfully cognize yourself as Paramashiva. That matters because cognitions, consciously taken decisions gets recorded into your biomemory. Vague, confused, immature, mood swings, feelings, all that gets recorded only even in your muscle memory. Listen. Even if you receive 99,000, it is less than 1 lakh. Because the very digit is different. Having large, expansive inner space. Makes you manifest life in tremendous depth, maturity.
Theas who micromanage the inner space are Dhiras. Dhira means who is not stuck in any pattern inside. If you lose the fight outside and come out and give a 10-day lecture on why you lost, you can't be a Veera. Nobody is interested in giving you any respect by listening to your lecture. Oh, it was too hot and I always feel energetic in the AC and cold area, but in hot I lose my sense and control. I was so irritated. I could not tolerate the other fellow's sweating smell, so I lost it. Who cares? Loser. Even if he gives 10-day lecture on the reasons why he lost, he's not going to get the title Veeraha. He's not going to be Veeraha. Dhira means who conquered inner space, who micromanages inner space, who looks into every thought current, thought pattern. Understand? Any problem persists because you are not interested in micromanaging certain thought currents in you, certain pattern currents in you. Understand? Even body needs to be healed. If your body is not cooperating with you for waking up in the morning, it is sick. It is entertaining certain blind spots. Don't let that happen in you. You need to address it. You need to heal it. You need to cure it. Most subtlest patterns do not expose themselves as patterns to you. They try to convince you, you are them. They are your characters. They are your beauty. They are your colors. No. Any sympathy for your patterns in any form is a crime against yourself. Atmahatya. Understand? Sometimes we say, why? Everyone is suffering with certain pattern. Why not me also? Let me have this. This is my character. No. Everyone's suffering cannot be the justification for your stupidity. Pattern, when it convinces you, it is your character, it is your quality, and derives your sympathy, you have committed suicide. You entered into the suicidal space. Over. Most listen to this word. Most stupid. Suffering comes to you by you not recognizing the source of that suffering as your pattern. Look in. Justifications do not bring you result. Long theology, philosophies do not bring result. Who do not compromise in the inner space, who feels their inner space is like their chastity, is dhiraha. The level of integrity, the way you micromanage your inner space, that makes you dhiraha. That makes you dhiraha. Here, Upanishad declares, dhiras are those who discover the ear of the ear, mind of the mind, speech of the speech, prana of the prana, and realizing that they achieve the immortal, eternal, amrita bhavanti. They achieve immortal and eternal. Contemplate. Where are the blind spots? Continuously look in. If you are not able to attend the morning yoga, the blind spot is somewhere else. Somewhere else you are deeply cherishing the second thought current, some other thought current. Unless you penetrate into that thought current, you are not going to free yourself. You are not going to liberate yourself. Your anger, your discomfort, your vengeance. Unless you look into that and break, you are not going to become dhiraha. And life is only worth living when you become dhiraha. Shrotrasya shrotram manaso manoyat vachoha vacham savu pranasya pranaha chakchush chakshuhu atimushya dhiraha pretya smallokat amrita bhavanti. Go on micromanaging your inner space. Go on micromanaging. The moment you diagnose the thought current, thought pattern, immediately the pattern will melt. The moment you diagnose, if it is not melting, that thought current is not a real problem. Still you have not put your hands on the real problem, I tell you. Many times people, when they are not able to wake up in the early morning, they try to put more alarms, more cold water, sleep early. All that does not work. The gastric and stomach ulcer need to be healed because the problem is there. Putting more alarms, putting more cold water on yourself, putting more people to call you, sleeping early, nothing will work. Till you put your hand on the right problem. With everything, with every situation, with every problem, putting your hand on the right thought current. The moment you put your hand on the right thought current, the problem dissolves, problem disappears.
Tyaga is the key to become God. The most difficult tyaga is renouncing self-hatred, because the society teaches you self-hatred is great. It makes you delude between humbleness and self-hatred. Listen. Humbleness is not self-hatred. Listen carefully. Self-hatred is thinking you are less. Humbleness is thinking about you less. Less self-remembrance is humbleness. Self-hatred is constantly thinking about you, but very cheap, very low. Understand, there is a big difference between humbleness and self-hatred. Person with self-hatred will never be really humble. Adivinayam durta lakshanam. He will show himself very humble. But he is not humble. Understand? A real humbleness will be out of powerfulness. Society deludes you, makes you mistake humbleness your humbleness as self-hatred, and as you always in the state of self-hatred so that you will be humble. Self-hatred is not humbleness. Most difficult thing to renounce in the life is self-hatred. So much of self-hatred, self-doubt, self-denial. That is why even if you think of future plans, so much of impossibility and you shrink. No, one more suffering, pain of failure, why should I face? Fool. Because of pain of failure, you don't plan, and naturally no plan means failure. It is like because you are afraid some guest will come to your home, you call that person and tell him, please come. You are afraid failure will come to your life, and you stop planning and force the failure to come to your life. Self-hatred, self-denial, self-doubt. Most difficult thing to renounce in your life is SDHD. Renounce that. Dhira, courage is moving the SDHD out and having the vision for your future. Because of your pain and frustration, fear of failures, doesn't want to face one more pain of not achieving what you want and all those frustration ganging up, and you don't even put the seed, then what are you hoping for? Accidental future. Accidental future is not going to be great. All accidents will either be damaging or just letting you live. It is only consciously planning manifesting. Understand? You are a man. You are given conscious power, will persistence. You are expected to be adult and matured. Use those capabilities and plan, manifest your future. If not, don't blame anyone. First, sit. Pen down your pains of failures, hopelessness, resistance, anger. You feel even to write, think about your future. How is it going to happen? My future is in somebody else's hand. I don't even know what is going to happen. How will I plan? What will I do? All kinds of frustration, impossibility. Whatever comes up, pen down all of that. That is the first step. Second, decide consciously I am moving all this out of my life. And now I am planting conscious seeds about my future. So two things you are going to do now. First, all the resistance and anger and frustration you have to do this conscious planning of your future, pen down those patterns. Memories of failures, frustration, everything, whatever you have. If you don't have, great. If you have, pen down. That's the first. Second, pen down what all you want to manifest by which date, on the date exactly, on the calendar. If you want to manifest something by August, go to the August month and exact date you want to manifest that, pen down that. Veera is courage you demonstrate through your ahankara. Dhira is the courage you demonstrate in your level of mamakara. The courage you demonstrate in ahankara is veera. The courage you demonstrate in mamakara is dhira. The courage you demonstrate in anyakara is ira, the compassion. The courage you demonstrate in ahankara is veera. In front of 10 people, die! The courage you demonstrate with your mamakara, with yourself, is dhira. I'll choose only authenticity. Come what may. The courage you choose with the anyakara is ira. I don't know whether the word Sanskrit, the ira exists in Sanskrit. It's a Tamil word. It's a Tamil word. It's a Tamil word. Ira means the compassion in your heart. In Tamil, it means. But the old languages, it will always be, words will be here, there, and it will get mixed up. Some forgotten, some. It's okay. I'll give this word to Sanskrit, ira. And I'm giving the meaning to it, that's all. With the right of Arsha Prayoga, I give this, contribute this word to Sanskrit. A rishi has a right to use Arsha Prayoga. As an incarnation who created so many rishis, I contribute this word to Sanskrit. Go ahead. Because the masters have to explain such subtle principles. They are not bound, restricted by the linguistic rules. That is why in the tradition even country rules are bent. Because they have to express the cosmic rules in their body language. Sometimes the country rules are bent in those days during the Vedic tradition for the masters. The good and the pleasant approach man. The wise examines both and discriminates between them. The wise prefers the good and the good to the pleasant, but the foolish man chooses the pleasant through love of bodily pleasure. Shreyascha preyascha manushyametaha tau sampritya vivinakti dhiraha. Authenticity and inauthenticity both approach man. The wise examines both and discriminates between them. The dhira, wise one, prefers the good, prefers the authenticity to the inauthenticity. But the foolish man, adhira, chooses the inauthenticity because of the incompletion in the bio-memory, in the muscle memory. Tell me, all of you think, why did you choose the pizza knowing it is inauthenticity? Why did you say it's okay at that moment? Because the incompletion in the muscle memory, in the tongue, in the eyes, in the touch. Pizza will have incompletion only in these three muscle memory. Vision, visual, the way it is. Wow. And the taste, of course, smell also. Smell. Sound, there's no sound from pizza. The smell, the incompletion muscle memory of the smell, incompletion muscle memory of tongue, incompletion muscle memory of eyes, and incompletion muscle memory of touch. If you remember even now and have a thought, it will be nice if I can have a pizza. Authentically raise your hand. How many of you had the thought? You still have incompletion. Understand? The moment I described, you had the visualization and had a thought. It will be nice. Of course, we won't get it, but it will be nice. Raise the hand. Authentically, let me see. Still, you are carrying the incompletion. The danger of choosing inauthenticity exists in you. Nothing wrong with pizza, but you will choose pizza for wrong reasons. Inauthentically. With completion, nothing is wrong. There are clear references. Shankara drank the village, the country arak. Being a Brahmana, a sannyasi, Yoni Brahmana and a sannyasi, he drank country arak. His disciples thought he is inauthentic and questioned. Then in the next stop, he drank the molten iron to prove his authenticity, that nothing touches him. He was never inauthentic even when he drank arak, because it was out of completion. His body needed some water component. Nothing else other than that country arak was available. So he added that water component to the body. And next stop, nothing else other than the molten iron was available. He added water component through that molten iron. It was complete authentic. It was not, the Shankara did not have the incomplete bio-memory of the arak smell, taste and the hangover which it leaves in the system. You guys have 5 hangovers of pizza. Hangover of taste in the tongue, hangover of smell, hangover of vision, hangover of touch, and hangover it leaves in you after eating. Shankara did not have even one hangover of alcohol. Alcohol also leaves you 5 hangover. Seeing, smell, taste, and what the touch, and what it leaves in you after you drink. The 5 incomplete biomemories, muscle memories, all 5 are not there in Shankara. That is why he used even alcohol just to add water component to his body. Ram Surat Kumar smoking. He never had an incompletion. So with incompletion, even pizza can hurt you. Without incompletion, with completion, even alcohol can't hurt you. When you are incomplete, even your breathing can hurt you. With completion and authenticity, nothing can hurt you. Look in, it may be out of inauthenticity. Inauthenticity. Dhiraha. Dhira, wise is one who stands with authenticity, who chooses authenticity, who does not choose because of the incompletions of biomemory. See, every time you choose inauthenticity, it's okay. Some of your incomplete biomemory is awake and says, yes, unclenching, if I decide to do something else or nothing, I feel I will be less useful to mission due to progressive decline in contacts. Out of sight, out of mind. This is my concern. Please comment. Next question. My mission is to make you unclench. Nothing else. Let it be very clear. I am not a missionary. I am not a missionary to do anything else. My mission is to make you unclench. One more important thing. By unclenching, if you don't support the mission, you should not support. See, let me be very clear. Many people involve themselves into my mission for various reasons. For various reasons. If you unclench, because of that, if your involvement is less, or you being productive to mission is less, never bother about that. That's good for you and good for me, good for the whole mission, good for everybody. It will be good for everybody. If you are being productive to the mission is due to the enlightenment experience which you had, satori which you had from this unclenching truth, that will be the right help, that will be the right service. So I feel, if you completely imbibe the truth which I am teaching, that will be the greatest service for the mission. Are the thoughts useless? What use you found from thoughts?
99% thoughts are totally useless. So.
That's all. You yourself realized it. Yes.
So, what is it within us is telling us that it is useless?
What is this?
I mean, there has to be some faculty within us that is telling us this is illogical, this is unconnected. So again, the mind is the
So
one,
you say there is a faculty.
the mind is the one that has to decide whether it's illogical or logical, isn't it? So again, we are using the help.
Okay, see, mind is the one which is supposed to decide whether it is logical or illogical.
Correct.
That's the truth. So what is that mind?
Bundle of thoughts.
Bundle of thoughts. That's what now you saw.
Right.
Now what is that bundle of thoughts? No.
But again, in order for you to know it is illogical, you need to have something to tell you that's illogical.
Okay.
What is it that within
What is it that telling? That you should ask yourself. See, you are asking from what scale we can tell whether it is illogical or not. I tell you, you can't even call this as actually illogical because you don't have any other word, you are using it as illogical. It is not even, it can't even be described as illogical. It is logically illogical or illogically logical. You can't even describe, it is illogical. As doctor told, it's right. You can't describe it as illogical. If it is illogical, then what is logical? We don't have any word, that's all. Because of that, we are using the word illogical. Now only one by one, everything is coming out. You are God, I am God. Who said I am God and you are God?
You said you are only 30.
Who told you this? I told you. Long before. Now completely it is unclutched. How can you say that Nityananda only is sitting in front of you now? Let's have a little fun. God is everywhere. Why go to Kumbh Mela? Who went to Kumbh Mela? And why Anandeshwar temple? Who said there is a temple? I don't know. Who put this question? I understand the word now which you need to digest. Just be unclenched. You are God and I am God will become experience to you. See, now let us analyze. You say, I am God and you are God. Next moment itself you are suspecting it. That is why you are putting the question, why Kumbh Mela? So this means your thoughts are not consistent. Am I right? You say, I am God and you are God. If you keep quiet, then okay. But the next you put the question, then why go to Kumbh Mela? It means your thoughts are not logical. Am I right? They are not logical. First you are telling one and the second you are telling something else. It means your thoughts are unconnected, illogical, independent, irresponsible, unclutched. Just realize that. And the third word, why Anandeshwar temple? Now you are bringing the God also. The fight is after all between you and me. Why are you calling the poor guy? He is somewhere sitting happily. First thing, the logic with which you are asking the question has no base. Has no base. First, look into yourself and see how you are. Then ask any other question. This very question shows you are independent, unconnected, irresponsible, illogical, unclutched being. Thoughts are so illogical. Then which thoughts do we pick up? Is it based on our samskaras? What happens after enlightenment? You don't need to pick up any thought. Why do you need to pick up any thought? You don't need to pick up any thought. Is it based on our samskaras? Where is samskara? Samskara is also one more thought. One thing I am so happy that I wanted that a certain level of confusion should be created. By seeing the question I am very clear that is created. Now we can go deep. Now we can dig the whole thing. What happens after enlightenment? Why do you bother about that now itself? You are asking, no random thoughts at all. Let me be very clear, no thoughts at all. Forget about random thoughts. You are sitting in front of a person who is speaking without thoughts. Who is speaking without thinking. That is why I am able to speak for so many hours without preparing. If you are preparing and talking, if you are already prepared the lecture and bringing it and you are delivering it, two things. You need time to prepare the talk, and the second thing, and then after delivering you repeat that you missed so many points. One more thing, there are some intelligent guys, they don't need to prepare outside. But during the talk itself, they will mentally prepare and start talking. Even if you do that, you will become tired after talking 1 or 2 hours. You can't be talking hours after hours. One more thing. Person who mentally prepares and talks will be bored of talking the same subject second time. If you are a teacher, you know. If you are a teacher, you know. But I am talking almost the same thing for last 4 years, 4.5 years now. Now, in 5,000 hours DVD, practically I am telling the same thing. Because I am not thinking and talking. When we think logically, are we not connecting thoughts? What you think as logic itself is illogical. You connecting thoughts is not actually connection. What you think as connection, you bring the nearer possible, the nearer concept thoughts. It's like a, let me describe it. Ajada Veda, there are two kinds of Vedas in the Veda means differences. Ajada Veda and Swagata Veda. Swagata Veda means by the quality itself it is two different things. The difference between cow and the monkey. By the very birth they are two different. There's one more Veda. The difference between your hand and your head. It's by quality it's the same body, but inside the body like a subdivision. This is Ajada Veda, means by birth, by jati, they are not too different. The earlier division is totally different between cow and donkey, cow and monkey. By nature they are two separate things. The second kind of Veda is, by nature they are not two separate, same body but two different parts. But there is a difference. There is a difference between your hand and head. Your hand's job is different and head's job is different. So, when you think logically, you may not connect the thoughts with Swagata Veda, but even then your thoughts have got Ajada Veda. You understand? There is a minor division. Even what you think as logic is not completely connected. Between every thought there is a difference. There is a quantum jump. There is a quantum jump. You may not observe it clearly. You may not understand it. If you look, even with the, alright, whatever you think as logic, just see when it goes on inside you. It won't be logical. It will only jumping. It will only jumping. Your logic is also not enough logical. Enough logical. What do you think as logic? See, for example, let's analyze this one logic, Nyaya. There's a two kind of Nyaya, logic. In Nyaya Sutra means about logic in India there's a big Darshana means the big tradition which teaches the logic. There's a two kind of logic. One kind of a logic is like a, if you read the two statements, you can come to the conclusion of third statement. For example, all men have got one head. Socrates is a man. Now you know the third statement. What is the third statement? Socrates has got one head. This is one kind of logic. There is another kind of logic. Here, this gate has got two doors. First statement. Second statement, one door is open. You can't say the other door is closed. But now, before I uttered this word, your mind has come to the conclusion? Is it not?
Yes.
The moment I utter the word, there is a two door. One door is closed. What your mind says? How can you say that? So this is the life logic. Life's logic is not logical. It's not logical. Many times, you see, you think by connecting and making everything by generalizing. But when you live in a very small, narrow way. Your thinking happens in a different play. Your living happens in a different play. That is why so much of suffering. So much of suffering. For example, if you hear the news, your friend is loving somebody, immediately you come to the conclusion, you are not being loved.
But the quality of love is such that you love more number of people, you are more open. You pour yourself so much. You know how to shower yourself. But your logic does not agree with that. Life, the big problem with the life and logic is, in reality, nothing is logical. But in thinking, you are trying your best to connect everything and put everything into one logic, so that you can manipulate it. Whatever is logical, you can manipulate, you can manage. But fortunately, life is not logical. Whatever you try to do, it is not possible. Could not unclutch last night. I am not able to unclutch is also one more independent, illogical, irresponsible thought. Why are you bothered about it? Let it come. Unclutch from that, over. Where you are already working on this. I observe the inward and outer me, and that those are unclutched. And there is duality I have been trying to identify. But I have not felt this change in perception. What holds me back? Nothing holds you back except your idea that you are not able to perceive. Now you say you are having an idea you are not able to perceive. Just unclutch from that thought, over. Just unclutch from it. Who is saying you are not enlightened? You. Just unclutch from the thought, over. Why are you clutching with it? That's all. What is the difference between so-called normal people and mentally retarded? Or mentally retarded people unclutched? They are not unclutched actually. They are over-connected. See, in your case, you are connecting at some point. Somehow you are able to manage to unclutch and rest. Those guys are not even able to manage that unclutching during sleep or during the boredom period. See, in your case, after a certain boredom or tiredness, you know how to unclutch and change and do something else. Those guys were not that intelligent and they are not able to do that. That's why they become mentally disturbed. If the mind can be aware of only one thought at a time, is it possible the mind is the one thinking it is body and mind, then thinking it is enlightened. See, if you are thinking, then it is not enlightened. Is enlightenment product of the mind? No. And dies with the brain? No. Your mind is much sharper, with great imagination. Oh, this is a nice question, challenging me. Now it's time. Let's. It's from the same person. I think from doctor only. Now I know. Understand? This is a very deep question. Sharp mind will not radiate compassion. The more your mind becomes sharp, you will see more you become logical. The more you become logical, you will be more violent. Logic means separating. It will never give deep fulfillment to you. One more thing. Staying with one body is impossible. Staying with one thought is impossible. Here is saying, if the mind can be aware of only one thought at a time, it can be aware of only one thought at a time, but that thought cannot be same continuously. That's the first thing you need to understand. Any thought cannot be consistent or same continuously. Second thing, he is asking, the mind is the one thinking it is body and mind, then thinking it is enlightened. No. Mind is the one which is thinking it is body and mind. When that dies, you don't think you are enlightened, you are enlightened. People ask me, are you enlightened? Let me be very honest. The moment I became enlightened, the idea, the doubt whether I am enlightened or not has disappeared. Same way the idea I am enlightened also disappeared. I neither have a doubt whether I am enlightened or not, nor I have an idea or clarity that I am enlightened. I neither have a doubt whether I am enlightened or not, nor have idea that I am enlightened. Simply it is there completely unclutched, because all the masters use the word enlightenment to denote this state, to mention this state. I am also using that word. I am also using that word, otherwise that word has no meaning. Is enlightenment product of the mind? No. In a way it is product of the mind, because after it happens, after the mind disappears. So indirectly it can be called as the product of the mind. Maybe enlightenment is side effect of the mind's death. Enlightenment is a side effect of the mind's death. Is enlightenment product of the mind and dies with the brain? No. It is neither the product of the mind nor it dies with the brain. Your mind is much sharper with greater imaginations. No. Actually, I don't have imaginations. That's the big problem. I don't have imaginations. I can say only one thing. I appear to be very sharper because I know all the games which your mind can play. You may ask how I know all the games your mind can play. Because my mind has played all those games with me. I managed it. Because I played with my mind, I can play with anybody's mind. The other day, after some program I came and told, there was a guy who was trying to play, was trying to behave very intelligently with me. Then after everything I came and told. I told him that you are playing with mind. I played with the mind itself. Understand? You are playing with your mind. I played with the mind already. So whatever your mind can play, I know because my mind played much more than that. Before death, your mind will do its final drama. It will open all its cards, or I can say, it will open everything. It will do its best. That's what it means when Buddha says that before enlightenment, Mara came, he tried to seduce me. Means what? All the things which is inside is coming out. If somebody has become enlightened, he has seen all the games of his mind, then naturally he can face all the games of your mind. So my mind, you can't say my mind is sharp or with great imagination. No. I don't have imagination. One more thing. Maybe you can feel my mind is sharp because I know all the sharp dramas played by your mind. Otherwise, my mind is not what you think as sharp. How have we managed to create disease in our bodies? Or does this have nothing to do with our thoughts? It has something to do with your thoughts. How can we turn this around to help us? First thing, understand. Every moment you are having new thought. Your body is created by your thoughts. Because you believe you have a consistent personality. You are connected. You have a connected shaft in you. You start creating the body also in the same way. And do not allow rejuvenation process. Now understanding that you are unclutched, You will allow the rejuvenation process which is constantly happening in you to happen in a natural way. Unclenching is the best way to allow your body to heal itself. See, Dilip is asking a question. I have to connect my thoughts logically. Only then I can do my work. I am telling you all, right? Please sit straight. Now connect all your thoughts logically and be there. How long will you be able to do? How long will you be able to do? Dilip? You can't. So you know you can't. That's what I am saying, then don't. Understand? See, if I tell you to be unclutched, you say I am not able to. If I tell you to be clutched, again you say you are not able to. Neither be unclutched nor be clutched. You are already unclutched. Understand? Neither you need to unclutch because you don't need to unclutch. You are unclutched. Try to be clutched. You are not able to. Then just be. Look into yourself. Understand? Now I am talking an important truth. It's one of the important revelation. You will not be able to do any single act without contradicting thought happening in you. Anybody who says that I have done a single act without a contradicting thought happening in me, tell me. No. You can't. Not a single action is outcome of thought. Actually, we do not know what is the cause of action. That is truth. That's the truth. Always you will have contradicting thoughts. Why you execute this thought and you don't execute that thought, we don't know the reason. We don't know the reason. We don't have logical reason. That is what you executed. That's all we can say. Why you did not execute the contradicting thought and you executed that thought, we don't know. Understand? This understanding will create a deep clarity in you. A very deep clarity in you. You are suffering. You are torturing yourself by trying to find the reason for all your past actions. The main suffering, main cause for your suffering is you trying to find reason or justification for your actions. Your actions are not done with a logic. First understand that. Your actions are not done with a logic. You give the title or the name to that actions either as a good or bad based on the result which comes after the action.
All bosses are always worried. Nobody knows why. And they constantly act as if they are worried. But after certain time, they forget they only started as acting. They start believing and they start living. And the delusion and illusion they created for others swallows them also over. Many times, to show you are a big guy, you would have started screaming in your office, in your house, with your team. Slowly, after a few days, even though you established you are a big guy everywhere, that screaming has become pattern in you. Agitation has become pattern in you. Being constantly irritated has become pattern in you. Even though it is not directly productive to the mission of your life, what you are supposed to achieve,
Enjoyed this very powerful, profound revelation from Swamiji. And just remember this Paramashanta Swarupa of Parameshwar that we have learned today, and about ferociousness, and about breaking free from the Maya matrix. Every single powerful cognition we learned today. And have all these powerful revelations Swamiji revealed about Maya, how to break free from the Maya matrix. Cherish these in your inner space and go to rest. You're going to see how these powerful cognitions will start manifesting in a very, very powerful way in you. Thank you so much for joining us today. And let's meet tomorrow at 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, starting with the yoga. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat Sarvam Bhagavad Shri Nityananda Paramashiva Padukarpanamastu. Om Nityanandam. Thank you all, Nityanandam.